Right. But yeah, hello, wonderful people. It's your boy Kingsley, Osei-Abrah. So today, I'm going to talk about context is king because my name is King. Stay tuned. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about context is king, and I feel like it's something that I actually didn't plan to talk about this today. I was going to talk about it another time. I didn't really plan to talk about this, but I feel like I want to talk about this to kind of set the pace of like, the type of videos that I'll be releasing as time goes on to eternity. And most of the videos is going to be about like, providing content behind a lot of content, providing context behind a lot of content that like, people receive. The reason why this is like I really want to talk about this is that because I feel like in the world that we are living, like there's a lot of content out there, but there's not enough context behind the content, and I feel like it's really hurting. Like I don't want to use the word hurting, but it's causing a lot of frustration in people just because of the lack of the content, the missing puzzle pieces that has been left out of the content that has been provided. For example, like over this weekend, I was with a very, very, very close friend of mine, and she was talking to me about how like this amazing photographer on TikTok did this type of amazing photography, and she showed me the video, and she who is like she's not a photographer herself, so she being an amateur, she was just like she just thought that the guy combined something over here with something over here and produced something, so like 1 + 2 = 3. Simple as that. And she was, in her mind, it's kind of like, oh yeah, just get this, add it to this, and you will get that. You understand? And me being a more experienced photographer, I looked at the video and I was like, wow. Like, it's a great video. I really respect the art that the person created, but it was just very, there was really no, there was a lot of missing pieces and a lot of missing puzzles that like were left out of the image, which is very, very important and very crucial to you getting the end product that you actually see that he has or that you desire. And I feel like this just doesn't happen in photography, but it happens in in almost all areas of life. And the reason is because like we live in a world where like now everything is like it's just based on time. So people in the efforts to give of value in a very short amount of time, they give value in the form of context, but then they lose the actual, they fail to give the actual context behind those content. So in this YouTube channel, or in subsequent videos, I'm really going to be talking about the lack of context in these areas of life. And the first area of life is, guess what? Faith. I grew up as a Christian. Like when I came out of the womb, like I was a Christian. You understand? Like I came up with like Jesus plastered on my chest. Like it's really. I'm just kidding. Like I grew up as a Christian. I went to church almost every Sunday. Yeah, almost every Sunday. And like I feel like in church is the best example, like religion is the best example of content without context. Because people like on Sunday, right? A pastor comes to preach and then he has only 40 minutes to deliver his message. So being a good person, I guess, he gives us a lot of content but doesn't really give the context behind the content. And it's two things. He's either expecting the congregation or the audience to go and research the context behind the content that he gave, or if he's nice enough, he'll actually give you context behind the content. But if he's not, then oh well, I guess we just get the content. And because of that, people get the content without context, and then they live their life trying to add 1 to 2. But then they're not getting 3. They're adding this to this, and they're not getting 3, and they're getting so frustrated. So, like as a baby Christian or as a baby Christian, I don't mean like as a baby, but like as a not a professional, like as an immature Christian who was like learning and growing up, I was getting a lot of message from the pulpit, and I was putting things together, but I wasn't getting the end result that I was expecting. So guess what? I got frustrated, and I feel like a lot of people fall into this circle because they're getting frustrated with getting a lot of content, getting a lot of messages from the Bible, messages about Christianity, messages about faith and religion, and they're just not getting the results that I guess the Bible is promising them. and they're getting frustrated. You understand? If you talk about fighting, but you don't talk about the mindset behind fighting, you're gonna have people give you their 10%, but they're actually not gonna tap into the blessing that God promised if you tithe, just because they're not having the right mindset behind tithing. And they're just thinking that it's only just 10% and I'm just giving off 10%. And they're just like, you're actually doing them more harm by giving them the content without the context behind the content. So, in case you're a preacher out there, please promise me, swear an oath. I swear an oath to give context behind my content. Because if I don't give context behind my content, I am truly hurting people like me. And guess what's going to happen? After a while, when we get so much content without context, and we try to apply the content without the context, what's going to happen is that we're just going to quit and just get frustrated. Because that's what happened to me. First season of my life, I honestly just stopped believing in Jesus. I thought it was just a whole bunch of hoopla. Because I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm applying 1 plus 2, and I'm not getting 3. Like, I'm doing it the most perfect way. 1 plus 2, and I'm still not getting 3, and I don't understand why I'm not getting 3, and nobody's giving me answers. Just because I failed to receive context behind the content. So, that's one area I'm going to talk about. So, the next area of life that I'm actually going to talk about is photography. Why? Because I take pictures. I love taking pictures, and why not? And I feel like, like right now in photography, I believe like I'm not experienced enough to tell people what to do yet. But I feel like, there are a lot of other young photographers who are like, going on this journey. And I've been consuming a lot of information or content from YouTube because, I like watching really short videos, and a lot of people try to give content in very short videos. But then I'm realizing that, then we are losing the context. So, on this platform, I'm also going to use this platform to actually talk about, actually adding more context behind the content that we receive. For example, when Apple, releases the new iPhone, right? And, they have these amazing pictures, captured on an iPhone 11. And then you take your iPhone 11 and you take a picture and you just look like, dude. You take a picture and you just look like, wow. You understand? And are they really lying? No, they're not lying. They actually took those pictures of the iPhone 11 with the same phone that you have in your hands. But it's just that the context, the lights, you understand, the settings on the phone that they had to adjust in order to capture that image, there are a lot of other things that comes into picture that people leave out. You understand? Because on an app, they don't have time to tell you, okay, so we put this light here, and then we told the model to wear this color because this color complements this color, and we put that light here, and then we set the settings to the settings, and we use these manual settings instead of the automatic They don't have time to explain all those things, so all they're just going to show you is a picture, and they're just going to tell you, capture an iPhone 11. Now, you have to do the hard work and actually find the context behind how we're actually able to get such a picture on an iPhone 11 so that you can also get that type of picture on an iPhone 11. And it's the same thing with cameras, with lenses, with with software and things like that. And a lot of people I see are wasting so much money into a camera that they do not need. Just because, they got content without the content. So, so I'm going to talk about that too. The fourth, wait, did I talk about 1, 2, so I'm on number 3. The third area of life that I'm actually going to talk about context behind content is business, 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 and entrepreneurship in general. And I feel like this is one of the most overly contented area in the whole entire universe of social media. For example, you see a post, how I was worth $100,000 at the age of 18 years old. And are they really lying? No, they are not lying. Yes, they were actually worth $100,000 at the age of 18 years old. But the only thing is they didn't give you context behind that content. Now, you will get that content and you will click on it, or you will get frustrated and ask, oh my gosh, I'm 18 years old and all I own is a bicycle. You understand? And you're like, how is he worth $100,000 and I'm worth a bacon, egg, and cheese? And you're frustrated. You understand? But then the thing is that you just didn't get context behind what she meant by she was worth $100,000 US. You go to find out She wasn't actually worth 100,000 US dollars as in the way that you think being worth 100,000 US dollars is. But what she probably meant was that schools were willing to pay her 100,000 US dollars to come to her school. So she thought, oh, if a school is willing to pay me 100,000 US dollars, then I must be worth 100,000 US dollars. And she writes a post that, hey guys, I am worth 100,000 US dollars. Yay! Were they really lying? No, they weren't lying, because it's true. A school was willing to pay them 100,000 US dollars to stay. But it's not in the way that you thought that she meant being worth 100,000 US dollars. And that's content. Like on social media, in business, I see this over and over again. Somebody post a video. I was working in McDonald's 6 months ago. Now I'm a multi-millionaire. You might ask yourself, oh my God, how was he working in McDonald's 6 months ago and 6 months later he's worth $1 million? Yeah, but he forgot to tell you that he used to work in McDonald's as the VP of I don't even know what. You understand? Like, he actually owned a whole McDonald's. You understand? So a lot of people, like, you understand, like, I feel like it's very, very important. And you know, we get a lot of content. You know, somebody will say, oh, you know, we did this, we did that, we did this, we did that, we did this, we did that. And there's all these contents that are stirring up emotions, but there's no context behind the content. And I'm really passionate about this topic because I have been a victim of false advertisement. And I'm telling you, if you are an entrepreneur and you know that you are really false advertising yourself just to get traffic to your whatever, your product or your page or whatever it is, stop, because you're truly hurting people. Like, you're truly frustrating people, and it's people's lives at stake. You understand? Like, it's people's future at stake, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. So that's also one thing that I'm also going to be talking about. Then again, I do not have a lot of experience in entrepreneurship to throw my man-made thoughts at you on how you should start your own business and things like that. But I'm just going to talk about books. I'm going to talk about podcasts. I'm going to talk about things that other successful entrepreneurs who I trust and I believe are being honest have shared. And I'm just going to, like, you know, we're going to talk about it and have a discussion about it and actually, you know, get more context behind what they actually talked about and what they shared, so that we don't, you know, get involved in something thinking that we're going to become multimillionaires in 2 days or something like that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about, because I feel like all these things are very, very important. And I hope everybody stays blessed. And yeah, stay tuned for my next video. It's probably going to be in a week from now. But stay blessed and eat healthy. Peace. And I'm out.